So since there's no right angles in here, we cannot use our right triangle trig. This is what's called an oblique triangle. And to solve it, one of our first tools that we have is something called the law of sines. The law of sines is based off that idea that the largest side is going to be across from the largest angle, and the smallest side is going to be across from the smallest angle. Well, right now, well, let's just keep going with it. So what that means is the length of a side, little a is the length of the side that is across from angle large A. It's not just a straight linear relationship, though. It's related to the sine of the angle. So little a compared to the sine of angle big A will be the same ratio as little b compared to the sine of angle big B, which will still be the same ratio as little c compared to the sine of angle big C. So within a triangle, that relationship holds true. That ratio is a constant. Now, it doesn't go from one triangle to the next. Within each triangle, it's a constant ratio, but it's different for each separate triangle. But within this triangle, we can use that. So the first thing we have to find is, do we have a side and its opposite angle anywhere? Well, the only side we have is the 32 feet. Do we have its opposite angle? Yeah, we do, the 43 degrees. So we're going to put 32 over the sine of 43 degrees. That is our side and its opposite angle. Now, which side do we want to find? Well, we have the 86 degrees, so sine of 86 degrees. What side is going to go above it? What's the opposite side from the 86? B, perfect. So now to find B, we are going to cross multiply and divide. So B is here, so the two that we have the numbers for are this diagonal, so 32 times the sine of 86. On your calculator, make sure you close that parentheses. Divided by the sine of 43. We get 46.81 feet. Let's pause for a second. Does that answer make sense? Well, 46.81 is bigger than 32. The 86 is bigger than the 43. So yes, it makes sense that that side would be bigger. That's a bigger angle. Now, how would we find angle A here? How did I get that that's 51 degrees? There we go. We had the other two. So you took 180 and subtract the 86 and the 43. What is left over is 51 degrees. That has to be angle A. So now that we have angle A, we would continue. We still have this relationship of 32 over the sine of 43 degrees. We're going to go back to that. Now, we have little a over the sine of 51. So we're going to cross multiply and divide again. The numbers that are diagonal are the 32 times the sine of 51, and we'll divide by the sine of 43. 32 times sine of 51. Again, make sure you close that parentheses before you do divided by sine of 43. 36.46 is side A. Now again, does that length make sense? It is between the 32 and the 46.8. Is its opposite angle between those two? Yeah. 51 is the middle sized angle, right? So it makes sense that's the middle sized side. That doesn't necessarily guarantee we got it right, but it does avoid some really silly mistakes always go back and check. Is the largest side opposite the largest angle? Is the smallest side opposite the smallest angle? And yes, in this case it is. So here, what we were given, we had been given two angles and one side, where that side was opposite one of the angles. Let's say we're given two angles and one side. However, this time that side is what's called the included side. What's included mean? Included means between. Wow, I drew that really poorly. So let's make that 18 inches. Let's say we have this. I'm going to label it A, B, C, little a, little b, little c. Do I have a side in the opposite angle? I will, yeah. Right now I don't, but I can. The only side I have is the 18. Its opposite angle would be angle A over here, which I don't have, but I can find it by perfect. Subtracting from 180. What does that give me? 58? Something's just slightly off there. Oh, right, it is 58. Never mind. 58 degrees is correct. So then I can go ahead and set up my proportion. What am I going to do? Have my 18, right? Perfect. 18 over the sine of 58 is the opposite angle. Which side do I want to find next? B or C? You guys pick. B. That's going to be over the sine of which angle? 73 is its opposite angle. So now we're going to cross, multiply, and divide. It'll be 18 times sine 73. Again, make sure you close that parentheses. Divided by the sine of 58. 20.30 inches. So B is 20.30 inches. Now the only thing we have left to find is C. So we're going to go back to that 18 over sine of 58. What goes over here to find C? Perfect. C over the sine of 49. Before I cross multiply and divide here, what am I going to expect from C? It's going to be the smallest. So it's going to be smaller than the 18. So I cross multiply and divide. 18 times sine 49. Again, make sure you close the parentheses. Divided by the sine of 58. 16.02 is C. And again, yes, the smallest side is opposite the smallest angle. Longest side is opposite the largest angle. All is right in the world. In fact, we don't even need the triangle here. We could be given that angle A is 63 degrees and angle B is 51 degrees and side C is 28 feet. There's one thing we can find here right away without doing too much thinking at all. What is that? Angle C, what is it going to be? I get 66. 66. So now for A and B, sides A and side B, we have to use our proportion. The only side we have is the 28. What's that go over? Sine of 66. Side C is opposite angle C. Let's say we want to find side A first. What's going to go underneath it? Sine of 63 degrees. Cross multiply and divide. 28 times sine of 63 closed divided by sine of 66. 27.31. Yes, that does make sense. 63 degrees is a little bit smaller than 66 degrees. 27.31 is a little bit smaller than 28. Now, to find B, what are we going to do? Perfect. We go back to our 28 over the sine of 66 again. Then we have B over the sine of 51 would be at its opposite angle. And we do cross multiply and divide. We expect this to be smaller yet. We get 23.82 feet. And that is our smallest side. It is opposite our smallest angle. Now, if we have two angles and one side, which is all the examples we've seen so far, it's pretty smooth sailing. The issues come when we are given two sides and one angle. I'm going to start out with the one angle being opposite the longer of the two sides. I'll show you why in a little bit. So let's say I've got A, B, C, little a, little b, little c. So the only angle I'm going to give you is that A is 53 degrees. Now I have to tell you that I have to have the opposite side of that angle. So I have to have A. Let's say that A is 48 inches, and let's say that C is 39 inches. Notice the side that is opposite the angle is the longer of the two sides. That's very important. If I tried to draw a triangle here, that's approximately 53 degrees. C here would be 39 inches. A would be 48 inches. There's only one triangle I can draw to that. Looks like that. So now if I go to solve here, I have my 48, that should be inches, not degrees, 48 inches over the sine of 53 degrees. 39 over the sine of angle C. Now note here, when I cross multiply and divide, I'm not finding angle C, I am finding the sine of angle C. So I'm going to cross multiply and divide. Sine 53, make sure I close it, times 39 divided by 48 is 0.6489. So that's saying sine C equals 0.6489. Now I'm going to keep that in my calculator. If I write that down and punch it back in, I'm going to get round off error. All that's saying is that C is going to be the inverse sine of 0.6489. Second sine, second answer. So 40.46 degrees. Does that make sense? Well, yes, side C is smaller than side A, so angle C is smaller than angle A. Now to find angle B, I add that up. That's 93, so this is going to be 86.54 degrees, right? Again, that's just out of 180 degrees. So now we can find side B over here by using 48 over the sine of 53 again equals B over the sine. Now we do have to use that calculated value of 86.54 degrees. Cross multiply and divide. Notice this is going to be just like we did before. No extra step. 48 times the sine of 86.54. You do have to make sure you close that still. Divided by sine of 53. 59.99 degree, 59.99 inches for B. So that one worked out just fine. We had two sides and one angle. The angle was across from the larger side. Where there are issues, actually, you know what? We're going to give you two sides and one angle. I'm going to have you guys work on one here. I'm going to give you that angle B, 58 degrees. Angle C, oops, nope, I'm not going to give you an angle. I only give you one angle. I'm going to give you that side B is 62 feet and side C is 58 feet. Find the rest of the pieces for me. I'll give you a couple. So we're going to start out with 62 over the sine of 58 degrees equals 58 over the sine of big C. So we cross multiply and divide. Sine of 58. Did I really make those the same? I did. Sine of 58 times 58 divided by 62. 0.7933. So the sine of C is 0.7933. So C is the inverse sine of 0.7933. So I always do second sine, second answer, 52.50 degrees. So C is 52.50 degrees, which means A is 69.50. So then how do I find side A? We go back. Perfect. Perfect. So we go back to the 62 over the sine of 58, and A is over the sine of 69.50. So we're going to cross multiply and divide in that direction this time. $68.48. Does it make sense? Well, our smallest side is opposite our smallest angle. Largest side is opposite our largest angle. So we're good. So I made a big deal about that angle being opposite the longer of the two sides. Why would that be a big deal? So let's say we're given two sides and one angle that is opposite the shorter of the two sides. So let's say we're given A is 29 degrees, that little a is 31 inches, and that little b, let's go, little b is 52 inches. So if I go to sketch this out, here's A of 29 degrees. This here is B up here of 52 feet, or 52 inches. A could go right here as 31 inches. Makes sense, right? However, there's another possibility. Because this side is shorter than that one, it could very well go like that. How do we know which possibility it is? The answer is right now we don't. We have to be told that either B is acute or obtuse, or we have to be given a picture where B is obviously either acute or obtuse. In this picture, I'm going to go with the brown where B is acute, and I'm going to make a note here that I'm going to tell you that B is acute. If I know that B is acute, nothing here changes from what we did before. So I've got 31 over the sine of 29 degrees equals 52 over the sine of B. I will cross multiply and divide to find the sine of B. The sine of 29 close times 52 divided by 31, 0.8132. So B is the inverse sine of that, 54.41 degrees. What if I told you that B was obtuse? So given those same measurements, A is 29 degrees, side little a is 31 inches. Here's B, this is 52 inches. Here's big C and little c. How would I find angle B? I'd do exactly the same thing I just did here. And when I cross multiply and divide, I would still get that sine of B is 0.8132. But how can I get an angle other than 54.41 then? Well, because if you recall, on our unit circle, I told you this unit circle would haunt you forever and ever. A sine of 0.8132 would be right about here, which gives us this angle here that was the 54.41 degrees. Well, there's another spot on the unit circle that has that same sign. Right over here. Is it still positive there? Yes, it is. It's still positive, still above the axis. It would have a reference angle here, still of 54.41 degrees. So the actual angle is going to be the supplement. (129.59 degrees). So that's the tricky part. Those two angles, 54.41 degrees and 125.59 degrees, have the same sign. Because supplementary angles have the same sign. Well, because they have the same sign, when I do the inverse sine of 0.8132, I don't know which one it is unless I know whether that angle is acute or obtuse. So if I'm told that that is an obtuse angle, then I know that this has to be 125.59 degrees instead of 54.41. What do you think? So I'm going to be nice in this one and give you a picture. Yes, from this picture, you can assume that angle C is obtuse. I'm going to give you the angle A is 19 degrees. Side C is 108 feet. Side A is 61 feet. Find angle C, angle B, and side B for me. Let's see. That's very possible. So we've got 61 over the sine of 19 degrees equals 108 over the sine of C. So sine of 19, make sure you close that parentheses, times 108 divided by 61 equals 0.5764, sorry. So to find C, we do the inverse sine. 35.20. So of course that means C itself has to be 180 minus 35.20 or 144.80 degrees. Right? So that means this one has to be 16 point. Subtracting from 180. And then we're going to stick with the 61 over the sine of 19 equals B over the sine of 16.20 degrees. We're expecting this to be slightly smaller. Oops, wrong way. Cross multiply and divide. Slightly smaller than the 61. 61 times the sine of 16.2 closed divided by the sine of 19. 52.27 feet. What do y'all think? Woohoo. Okay, out of your packet. Page 387, 388. 1 through 27, the odds. Check your packet. Make sure you have those page numbers in your packet. Did I give you a new packet last week? You had this in the packet? Okay. The 387, 388 should be in your packet.